Good morning, Year 5. It's Monday, so I hope you've had a relaxing weekend as best as you can. And now we are here to do our third session on fact or opinion. So last time around, we had a look at a few sentences and we were trying to organise them in order to distinguish between what was a fact and what was an opinion. And then we had a little go at sort of explaining our reason for deciding whether a particular sentence was a fact or opinion. So we're going to be moving on with that today, and then we will be finishing the chapter where I think, if I recall, last time Liam was being led to the assembly as the believed to be the teacher of, or the head of media studies at his new school, where in fact he's only a Year 7 pupil. So I'm sure that's going to go very well for him. We'll find out shortly. Okay, to get us started on this third session, can you have a think about a fact and an opinion about yourself? So, for an example, if I was to write a fact about myself, I might say, my name is Mr. Philpotts. That is a fact. I can prove that. It is on my birth certificate. So it is something that I can prove to be true. An opinion might be, I think I am a wonderful singer. Now, some people might think that. I don't think they do really. Others might think I am a terrible singer. Either way is fine with me, but that is an opinion. It can't really be proven one way or the other. Some people might agree and some people might disagree. Well, I suppose it can be proven to an extent if you were to put me in a singing competition, but you get the idea. One person's a good singer might be another person's bad singer, so it's not a fact. Now, can you have a go at writing a fact and an opinion about yourself? And then think about how you can explain how your fact is a fact and your opinion is an opinion. Remembering a fact can be proven and an opinion is what somebody thinks about something. So have a go at that just to get us started, just to get us thinking about and distinguishing between the two straight away. So have a go, pause the video. You can maybe compare with somebody in your house and maybe come up with a few more facts and opinions about yourself. Right. I want to think a little bit more about why do writers use facts and opinions. So we mentioned it last time rather. We're going to have a look at an example where the two different things are used. So this is a toothpaste advert. So it makes claims about shiny teeth toothpaste. Some are facts and some are opinions. So at the top of the advert, you can see here, it says shiny teeth toothpaste gives you the whitest teeth. That is an opinion. Okay, you can't prove it's the whitest teeth unless there was some kind of a test, and it was every time this test occurred, it was always came out on top. So you can think that it's the whitest teeth, but you can't necessarily prove it. Everyone loves shiny teeth toothpaste. How do we know everyone loves it? It's very much an opinion. Can't be proven, because everyone is a lot of people. Whereas further down, there is a fact here. It says dentists recommend you brush your teeth every day. Yes, they do. Shiny teeth toothpaste is the best you can buy. That is an opinion. Other toothpaste manufacturers would probably disagree with that one. So writers who look over on this side of the screen, they use facts and opinions to make you believe the same as them. The facts are used so you know they are writing about things which are true, but they want you to feel the same way. For example, in this advert, and there's a fact at the bottom, you can buy toothpaste in all good chemists and supermarkets. Maybe even the bad chemists and supermarkets, I don't know. But there's a mixture of the two, and that's the effect that has when you combine them together. It can be quite persuasive, I suppose you might say. Right. Is this sentence, like we did yesterday, fact or opinion? So, if you are thinking of travelling to space to do some hands-on astronomy research, I would recommend wearing a breathing suit. Is that a fact or is it an opinion? Can it be proven or not? Pause the video, have that discussion. Right. Let's have a look at it then. What can we prove? Let's look at it from a fact point of view. So if you are thinking of traveling to space, do some hands-on astronomy research. I would recommend wearing a breathing suit. Now, it's that word recommend that jumps out to me. I would recommend. That's someone's opinion. Someone else might recommend. something else to do first if you're thinking of traveling to space. So I would say this is an opinion because it has a recommendation in it. Someone else might have a different recommendation. It cannot be proven to be a fact. Hopefully that makes sense. Right. So going looking at the text again. What is a fact? Can we use an example from the text? So I'm going to zoom in just to look at the beginning of the text to see if we can spot a fact. So there we go. Right, now things that can be proven, numbers jump out at me as something that's more likely to be easier to prove. So I'm going to look at this one here. Jupiter has the shortest day of all the planets. It turns on its axis once every 9 hours and 55 minutes. So let's see if the magic pen will help us make that a little bit clearer. Oh, not like that, it's not going to. Let's try that again. Complete technology malfunction. Right, let's try that one more time. So, turns on its axis every 9 hours. So let's see if I can make that stand out a bit clearer for you at home. Nope. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Third time lucky. Not giving up here, year 5. Though in fact, maybe I should do, but I'm not going to. Magic pen. Up. Across. Down. Hooray! There we go. 4th time lucky. Come up with a new phrase. Right, there we go. It turns on its axis once every 9 hours. Now, that is a fact because that can be recorded, that can be proven, that can be timed using the appropriate technology. So that is a fact because it can be proven. Let's zoom back to where we were after that. Now we're going to have a go at a chili challenge. So I'm going to put up a series of sentences, statements from the text, and we're going to see if we can distinguish whether they are fact or opinion. Once you've had a go at that, think about what we've discussed. Why do people use facts and opinions? And also, sorry, that's chili 3. And chili 2, what's the difference between a fact and opinion? So if you can add them into your answers and send them into the year 5 email address, that will be fantastic. So thankfully, I've done it so you can actually see the text on the left, so we haven't got to keep going forwards and backwards. And we're going to have a go at this one yourselves. Maybe if I just zoom in a little bit more. Hopefully that's big enough. Please let me know through email if it's still not, and I can make adjustments moving forward. So, first one, you can just write number 1, F for fact, O for opinion, or B for both if you think there's 2 things going on there. So, number 1, fascinated by space. Then you'll really like these facts about the planet Jupiter. Number 2, 79 moons have been discovered so far. Number 3, these large moons named Io, Europa, Ganymede and Callisto are all very different and distinctive worlds. 4, but in the meantime, Jupiter shall remain a large gas giant with no hopes of becoming a star. Sorry, Jupiter. Number 5, it is made up of hydrogen and helium in roughly the same proportions as are found in the Sun. And then number 6, 90% of the atmosphere of Jupiter, a huge proportion, is made of hydrogen. Pause the video, write down which ones you think are facts, opinions, or maybe a bit of both, and then send that in via email if you wish, or you can just compare with someone at home, and then I'm going to show you the answers now. So, the first one was an opinion. How do we know that? Then, because it says you'll really like these facts. How do they know you'll really like it? You might actually think, well, I'm not really fussed about these facts. So you can't prove that, so it's an opinion. Number 2 is a fact. 79 moons have been discovered so far. You can't argue over that number. It might be that they found more moons since I recorded this, but I somewhat doubt that. But that is a fact. Number 3, these large moons are all very different. That is a fact because you can compare the different moons. That can be proven. The 4th one, in the meantime, Jupiter shall remain a large gas giant with no hopes of becoming a star. Sorry, Jupiter. That is an opinion. This little bit on the end there, with no hopes of becoming a star. Someone might think that it could become a star. So that's open for debate, however likely or unlikely it might be. And the next one, it is made up of hydrogen and helium. That is a fact that can be proven. The word roughly is a bit ambiguous, but the key bit is there. It's made up of hydrogen and helium. That is the fact that we are talking about. And then the last one, we talked about this earlier in an earlier session. 90% of the atmosphere of Jupiter, a huge portion, is made of hydrogen. So we've put both for this one. If you remember, we said it's factual because it says 90% of the atmosphere of Jupiter is hydrogen. So that can be proven. The second bit, the bit in the middle, a huge proportion is up for debate. So that could be an opinion. Somebody might say, oh, well, it has to be 95% for it to be a huge proportion. 90% is only a large proportion. So there is some ambiguity there. But I would say primarily it's a fact, but we can justify that it is both. So I hope you got on well there. Year 5 and a little bit better an understanding of facts and opinions and being able to distinguish between them. Now we're just going to move on to the last part. And it will be more of cosmic, so good stuff. Okay, so if you remember last time, Liam was being led to the assembly under the slightly confused guise of the head teacher thinking that he was head of media studies, even though he's a year 7 pupil with a bit of stubble, but we shall see what happens now. So that's how I ended up on the stage, standing just behind Lorraine while she talked to the whole school. There were about 8 people in the front row who knew me because they'd been at Joan of Arc Primary too, including Florida Kirby, who kept waving and making faces. Lorraine said everyone was welcome and she hoped everyone had a good summer, and then something about a new registration procedure, and then she said, and now I'd like to introduce to you a new member of staff. He's going to be teaching media studies and he'll be form tutor for Class 9 Mandela. This is Mr. Middleton. And she pointed at me. I stepped up to the microphone and said, thanks, Lorraine. Sorry, Mrs. Sass. But everyone in the hall was already muttering, Lorraine, her name's Lorraine. And Lorraine was looking cross. All these faces were looking up at me. Part of me was thinking I really should think more about the consequences of my actions. Then this wouldn't happen to me. But another part of me was thinking, this is good. I said, morning, everybody. And everybody said, morning, sir. Sir? I said, has anyone here been to Waterloo near Liverpool? 1,200 hands shot up and waggled in the air like a salute. Looking at them, I felt like the bad emperor in Star Wars. I took a breath and said, has anyone been to Waterloo in Belgium, scene of the original Battle of Waterloo in 1815? No one. I said, Siberia? Siberia is as big as Europe. It's got the largest freshwater lake in the world. A lake so big it has its own species of dolphin. The ice is so thick that a railway runs over it. It's also got a town called Waterloo. Has anyone been to Waterloo, Siberia? No one put their hands up. Why not? No one answered, but they all squirmed in their seats as though going to Siberia was homework and they hadn't done it. Waterloo and Sierra Leone. No one had. Sierra Leone has a lush rainforest and amazing history. Anyone? No one. Why? They all squirmed again. Why have we all been to Waterloo with a bypass in the shopping precinct when none of us have ever been to Waterloo with a waterfall? The Waterloo in the jungle, the Waterloo by the frozen lake. Why? These places, they're not in Narnia. You don't have to find a magic wardrobe to get to them. They're not in Azeroth. You don't have to create an avatar and climb inside a computer. They're real places. You can go there by bus. Sometimes it'll take a lot of buses, but they're just there. They're part of your world. Someone shouted, "Yes!" I was amazed to see it wasn't one of the children. It was Lorraine. I realised now that she thought I was being a bit metaphorical. She thought I was going to say something about how education opens up new worlds for you or something. But I didn't. I said, "Let's go!" No one moved. They all thought I was being metaphorical too. I said, "Come on, what are we doing here? Let's go, come on, follow me." I don't know where that last bit came from. It just came out. It was part of the flow of the thing. I walked down the middle of the hall towards the doors at the back. It took a minute, but somebody followed me. Then someone else, and someone else, and everyone followed me out of the hall, through the lower school exit and into the playground. The sun was shining, the birds were singing. I walked up to the gates and pushed. Nothing happened. Waterloo High is a high security school. The gates are locked at 9 a.m. and no one can get in or out without a swipe card. That's why there was a man in a leather jacket standing on the other side of the gates talking into the intercom. "I'm the brand new head of media studies," he was saying. And over the intercom the secretary was saying, "I don't understand, you're already here. You're taking assembly." By then Lorraine was at the gate. She looked at the actual new head of media studies, and then she looked at me and she hissed, "Who are you?" I did try to explain it all to her. I said, "I'm really sorry, Lorraine." "Don't call me Lorraine anymore. It's Mrs. Sass." "Yes, Mrs. Sass." "Why didn't you tell me your real name?" "I did. But, well, you should have more sense, big lad like you." When I got home, Mum said, "So how did it go first day at school?" I said, "All right." "Is that all you've got to say? All right." "No, what else? I'm starving." Sometimes it's better not to go into too much detail. Right. Next time, Year 5, the chapter is called My Visible Friend.